Welcome to our very first free class in the TheQEffectz Sew community. I'm so thankful that you could join us. Like I've been showing us, we intend to start off with panel garments. We want to learn how to make panel garments majorly. So we're going to start first with the 6 pieces blouse. Now, to start your 6 pieces, or to make your 6 pieces blouse, you are going to need the following, which I've already shared with us on the platform. You can go through the requirements once again. If you'd like to join me on this class, you can follow me step by step so that we can work together. Like I said, one of the first requirements is that you have to be an intermediate sewist. That means you must have intermediate skill in sewing. You should already know how to draft a sleeve pattern. This is a sleeve pattern that I drafted. In fact, this is a trace from the original. Then this is the front of my blouse pattern. You can see my name there. So this is strictly my measurement, using my measurement, and this is the back as well, so you can see all of that on my pattern. So if you do not know how to do any of this, I will advise that you join the TheQEffectz pattern drafting class on Telegram. We'll be starting off I think next week. So you might want to click the link below this video so that you can participate in the class. Make sure you join us so that you can learn how to do all of this from scratch and even more. Okay, now I drafted this out, or I traced this out from the original pattern. My original pattern. So this is my original pattern. I'll always keep it in a file to keep it safe in case I have to use it again in the future. So luckily I'm the kind of person that my weight does not really change. I barely add weight, so my measurements are usually still the same. So you can see it. This is a dress block that I created for myself, so I can make a blouse from this, a skirt from this, a gown from this, basically anything I want to make from this. So I drafted these, that is this front piece that I have here. Let me find that. So I drafted, this is the back. Okay, so I drafted this back piece right here from this original pattern. So if I place this out, you can see that they are identical. As you can see right here. You can see they are identical. So I actually traced this from this, and this is the back. So I'm going to put this aside. Then this is the front. This is my original front. Here it is. So this is my original front piece. I also made sure that I included my bust circle in case I want to make padded blouses or I want to make corsets, so the whole process will be easy. So if you want to learn how to draft all of this in the TheQEffectz Sew community, I would advise you to join the TheQEffectz pattern drafting class, where I teach you basically everything that has to do with pattern drafting. So you'll be able to draft yours. And you can also join the computer pattern drafting class. This, by the way, reminds me, there is a computer pattern drafting version of this lesson. So if you already have a computer and a pattern drafting software, you can watch the videos so that you can learn how to do that. So this is my original blouse front. So I'm going to keep these away because they are I always have to keep them safe because I have to use them. So this is the original sleeve pattern. I have to use them later in the future. So now they're tucked away. Alright, so now let's focus on our 6 pieces blouse. We're trying to imitate. There is a zip at the front piece. So the first thing I want us to do is to attach zip blankets for it if you want, but usually I don't. I usually add it when I'm cutting out my fabric. Personally, I don't see the need. but if you want to, you can go ahead and attach a piece of paper right here on the center front, but I'll be doing that when I'm cutting on my fabric. Okay, so what I'm more concerned about is the panels. Alright, so let's get down to it. So the first thing we want to do on our front blouse pattern is to manipulate our dart. You can see right here on my pattern I have my waist dart and I have my bust dart. Now your pattern might be different from mine. You might have a shoulder dart instead, or you might have a what is the other type of dart? Neck dart or shoulder dart, or what else? I don't know what any other dart, or yours might not even have a bust dart. But I love to include bust dart and waist dart to my pattern so that I can have like good fitting. But now that I have a bust dart, I want to get rid of it, or rather manipulate it to a position where I would need it. So the first thing I want to do is to make sure my dart points, you can see from my front dart does not really extend to the bust point, neither does my bust dart. So I want to extend all of this to the bust point. So I'm going to do that by simply sending all the dart line back to the bust point, because that's where we are going to be working from. So this, and then for my waist, so you can see I have done that, so all the way to the bust point. So now I want to manipulate. So I want it to be on my crease seam, because if you look at the design we are trying to imitate, it has a crease seam. So of course you get your measuring tape, so I'm going to measure the armhole. So I have 10.5. So when you divide that by 5, you should have 5 point something, or 4.75, I think. Yeah. So which is literally here anyway. So I'm going to draw my line there. Down. So now that I've done that, I'm going to manipulate my darts to clip to the armhole. So I'm going to cut this into 2. I'm going to cut this as well. Yes, but I don't turn it. Okay, so I see that I've manipulated my bust dart to my armhole. So the next thing I want to do is to crease my bust to make it look a little bit padded. I don't intend to pad it, but if you want to pad yours, you can go right ahead and do yours that way. But I don't intend to pad it, but nevertheless I still want it to have that bust look. So I'm going to extend my waist dart from here to my bust circle, from the waist up to the bust circle, so like a straight line up there. This line. So then I use my French cobbler to create my curve. So you can see I've created my curve right there. Alright, so obviously I'm going to be cutting this out, obviously. Okay, so this part of it, we're going to remove it eventually. So we have created a curve right here and right here. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is to attach our flares. Because what makes the 6 pieces blouse is that there is a flare at the down from the waist, so we want to include a flare to it. So what I usually do is that I just extend my center of that here down to the bottom like so, and then I'll demarcate. Now before I do, I'm going to also measure my armhole right here. So I have 6, so I'm going to be taking 3 here, and then I'll measure my waist from this dart right here to the waist here, and I have 5, so I'll divide that by 2, so I have 2.5, so marking here. So what I'm simply just going to do is just create a curve from that point to this side, curve, voila. So I'm going to extend this to the bottom of my blouse, right there. So we literally have 1, 2, and 3 pieces. So this is our mid piece, this is our bust piece, and this is our side piece. Alright, so I'm going to cut all of this out so that we can move on to the next part of it. Now make sure you indicate that this is your waist, because we're going to be needing this for what is coming next. Alright. 3 pieces right here. Okay, so at this point it is time to start adding our flares to our pattern. So I'm going to take pieces of paper that I already have. Now what I want for my flare is to be about 2 inches. You can choose how you want yours to be. I'm going to put this aside for now, come back to it. So I'm going to place my paper. I'm starting at the waist because that's where I want the flare to be. So I'm going to hold it down with some tape. Right. So I want to attach a flare. So I'm going to be using my hip as a guide. Now I'm going to get my tape, my ruler, sorry. I'm going to extend this a bit further. No dimension mentioned. Then I'm going to get my tape. I want my flare to be 2 inches or 2.5, depending on how wide you want it to be. So I'm going to leave mine at 2 inches. And then come back. And then from the waist, I'm going to draw like a V this way, all the way. So you can see we're literally having a pattern in front of us. So I'm going to take this further. Come on, family. There you go. And then, before I cut it out, I'm going to measure from this point. I'm going to measure 1.5 inch. Alright, let me leave it at 1 inch. I'm going to measure 1 inch upwards and mark. Now this will be the curve for my, where is this? Create a curve. So now I can cut out my piece. All we need to do for our center front. So I'm going to put this away. Then I'll get my first piece. Now in this one I need the flare to be at both sides. So at us. So just like I did with the center front, I'm going to measure 1 inch upwards and mark 1 inch upwards and mark. So I'm going to create a curve. And the curve from here. Going to cut. So you can see the bust piece. I'm going to put this aside. We'll go to the next one. I don't think this paper it does any good for the side. This is my bust. Have you seen that? And this is my side piece. I hope we can see all of that. If you can see that. Okay, so these are how all the pieces look like now. Great. So our pattern from our front, besides the zip allowance, is complete. So I'm going to put these aside and then go to my back piece. And then go to my back piece. So this is the back piece for my my blouse pattern. And what else? there's nothing much here except the shoulder dart, as you can see right here, and the waist dart. Nothing much. Every other thing is the same. So this was drafted also using my measurement, and you can see the slant at the center back. Okay, you can see that right here. Now remember, we are putting the zipper at our front and not at the back. So if we are doing it at the back, we would have included our zip allowance at the back, but in this case it's for the front. So now the first thing we want to do, of course, is to manipulate our shoulder dart to the armhole, so that we can have our preset seam going forward. So I'm done manipulating my shoulder darts to the armhole. So of course we have to make this look like a curve here. There we go. So just like the front, I'm going to extend this because we want to add our flare. Okay, so now I'm just going to get rid of the waist darts here. Just going to get rid of it. So do that now. We're going to also include our, flare for our side piece. So let me go ahead and measure that. So what we have left should be 5. So we're going to have like 2.5 of the armhole here. I like to work with halves, I don't know why. And then the waist, we're going to take the half of what is left here, which is also 5. That's also awesome. And then we use our French curve ruler to create a curve right down there. And then the rest of it goes straight down. Awesome. So we have 1, 2, and 3. I decided to circle so that I'm able to tell which is front and which is back, although the color of my papers could have helped. Alright, so let's cut this out. So now we have 3 pieces. So 3 at the back, 3 at the front makes our 6 pieces blouse. Alright, now just like the front, I'm going to attach the flare to the sides of the blouse. Now unlike just like the front, we did not include flare because we're not going to do that for the back. We're going to attach flare at the back. The reason is because we're not including any zipper, so it will even look nicer if the center back has a flare. Alright, so let's do that. I'm going to get a rough piece of paper. This is basically what we have done for the back piece, and voila. So we are done adjusting our back pattern, and we've been able to get our 6 pieces for the back. So I'm going to put this aside to the front because now I want to focus on the sleeve. So based on the photo that we are trying to imitate, the sleeve pattern is I think a 3/4. It looks like a 3/4 sleeve anyway. So this is my sleeve pattern, so I'm just going to divide it into 3/4 around here. This is all the way down to the arm. So when we measure, we'll get just, let's say, to measure 6 inches. And then I'll cut. There are other types of sleeve you can include for your own design, and there's this one I saw. I loved it, and I'm going to try it maybe when we start doing free lessons on sleeve. Don't worry about that, it's coming very soon. So we're going to be doing different type of trending sleeves, like how to make them. So make sure you invite your friends to the TheQEffectz community. Make sure you're with us, and don't worry about it. So now we have our sleeve, as you can see right here. So these are sleeve patterns. This is what we're going to be working with. So we have our pattern style complete. 6 pieces patterns for the front, the back, and then the sleeve. So now it is time to sew.